We're here on the bandstand down the center of, right in the center of the heart of Walpole, which I feel to be the hub. This is where it all happens from. Well, anyway, and this is the J.J. Feely. Bob and I just spotted a plaque over on the front steps on the right, and it was commemorated, I guess, built by him, whatever, 1900. So this is actually the Feely Grandstand. So has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Anyway, what we're going to do is one of the best, I feel, representations of Walpole as a center. Am I too loud? Bob was blocking his ears. I thought he didn't want to hear this anymore. No X-rated stuff. No, it's all going to be whatever. Anyway, it's kind of a nice sweep here, and Bob also mentioned, and I completely agree, that we could do something from the other side, which is also a beautiful view. You'll see it on the website. One of the shots, it's taken late afternoon, looking up from TD's restaurant, and then further out over the rise is even a nicer shot, which encompasses the whole Main Street. It's a great typical.
Up on top of the hill too, right?
On top of the hill, exactly. Well, it's the end of the show.
It's like we're in Bostonville.
Yeah, I know. Sounds like the city. Sounds of the city. Anyway, so what I've done is I luckily, as luck has it, I had this piece of masonite board that was cut out of, I get some 36 by 36s or whatever. And I just happen to have this. And it's more of a panoramic view. Unlike most of them, a square or a little, perfectly square or a little more rectangle. This has more of a panoramic. So it lent itself perfectly to the center, I think. It's pretty interesting. So what I did originally is I blocked it in using charcoal, and I used a dark charcoal. So in order to put the paint down, what I have to do is take a little bit of it out. Otherwise, it runs right into the color and dirties it up. Yeah. So I want to get rid of that. It becomes another color. In other words, when there they are, my 1926 glasses. I've lost about 4 pairs of prescription glasses over the years, and these are my original pair of glasses, and the only ones that I have to keep relying on. The last one I lost on Commonwealth Avenue, the last pair. It was on my bicycle and fell out of the bag in the back, and things don't last too long out in Commonwealth Avenue, and they get run over. Anyway, so I've started blocking it in. This is the, I don't know the name of this building. It's a Walpole Center is what it says. And then of course there's this is the Walpole Cooperative Bank, which was formerly Swenson's Men's Store. And on down to the, which I think is one of the nice buildings in Walpole, is the old town hall, which is now the police station. So anyway, we'll just go. Get some color down here. Block it in. Big areas, no detail, nothing. Painters start paintings by, beginner painters, I should say, start by seeing how many windows they can put in. We won't worry about that. The light is getting a little rougher. It was bright for a while and now it's overcast, so we'll just have to work as fast as we can. This is an underpainting in acrylic. It just gives me something to add to the painting in terms of color that I'm not putting on. It's already there, and a wipe area is off, and we'll use some of that color. So it's just a technique that I've come up with over the years. It's not the easiest, but it once you get used to it. I'm going to block in some big areas. Let's get these trees in. See how fast we can go. Anyway. Want to get this a little lighter. There is still some light coming in on on parts of the trees and what have you. Okay, I'm not going to worry about this area. I think what I'll do is I'll paint around this. Yeah, so I will put this in, this part of the tree. It bleeds over. And it kind of also lends itself to breaking up an area that would be pretty monotonous otherwise. Well, let's see, we'll be on a tear here. This would be excellent. Excellent. Well, last week Bob and I went out and did a fun show on Beacon Street. I hope you'll watch for that. It'll be coming up, or already gone by. I hope you saw it. Yeah, that's true. All right, see what's happening with the charcoal. It's getting in the way. It becomes dirty, so I'm just going to wipe it down. Wipe most of the paint out so that I can go over it. Here again, we've got the same problem. But that's no big deal. You know, I just find it's a lot easier to get these things started now by drawing them in with a charcoal. That's all, and then going back into it. Don't have to be a purist, you know. Whatever makes it, whatever works for you, do it. You know, if you have to use your feet to paint, that's okay. You know, there's no hard and fast rules. Okay, so we'll get the big shapes in, get all the trees in for landmarks. This all lends itself to taking me from here, this big shape, down to here. The problem is a lot of these trees are dwarfed or have been replaced, but that's okay. I don't want them all looking the same anyway. I'm going to wipe out some of this charcoal here, so you avoid the problem before you get to it, before it becomes a problem, I should say. I'll take out. I've got enough of the drawing underneath to establish the painting. All right. That's the roof. Now here I've gone over into the sky. It's not clean, it's whatever, messy looking, but you know what? When I paint the sky back in, if I paint this part of it, which I may or may not do, I'll make the correction by painting this into this, which creates more energy. Boy, it's raining like a son of a gun. Interesting. It's not raining under here. This is a stroke of genius. And Bob's idea of coming here instead of out in the rain. Have we ever painted in the rain? We ever got stuck in the rain before?
A little, but not. We can't like it at all.
Yeah, and Bob said a little, but not like this. This is crazy.
When we were in the Boston Harbor, we painted up in the rain.
That's right too. Back in Bob was saying Boston Harbor last summer.
Where was it? What was that location?
Down on the where the heck was it? Behind.
Rose Wharf area? No, that.
Yes, Rose Wharf. Up the street from Rose. Yeah, it was in the Rose Wharf area. Right. Yeah, they had a merry-go-round out in the and then right near that merry-go-round, near the Greenway. It's near North Station, where the heck is it? No, whatever. The North End. It's heading towards
It was the Jack Nicholson movie they shot in Boston. There's a scene
Oh, The Departed. Yeah.
looks like it was right in that area.
It was. It was. That's the same area. The Departed. Exactly. That was a great movie. But anyway, what Bob and I were talking about was, you know, the fact that I usually paint most of the time in the sun. I get bright sun, and this could be, as long as it stays like this, it's fine. The problem is if it clears and the sun comes out, then I got a whole different thing. All the lights, all the colors change. I mean, it can become nature. And we were talking about the wet road and how much more interesting it is than a dry road. And you were mentioning, Bob was mentioning that in all scenes, just about in every movie, outside scenes, the grounds are wet, right? The roads, yeah, the pavement, everything they hose down because it gives it, I guess, a little more depth, probably a richer color. And the reflection, yeah, reflection of light. That's right. Especially the night scenes. Those are beautiful. I can't think of the name of one movie where they used, well, other than Blade Runner, which they used a lot of rain and a lot of reflection. That was a great movie, one of the best. That set the tone for movies to come after that. You know, that genre. Anyway, yeah, so it's getting a little brighter, but hey, as long as it stays this way, who cares? This is going to be an underpainting. All right, it's just going to be something to come back to. Get a lot of this. See, some of this orange is going to work. A lot of it isn't. But it adds another dimension to the painting. Get rid of that. It's a little thinner. I know where I am there now. Okay, so we got this tree. Probably goes up to here. Yeah. Don't want them to look too Christmas tree-like. Bring this one over here. And make the shape a little more irregular. And here's the time to do that. Excuse my yelling there. Trying to talk above the traffic. The time to loosen up and just get a lot of the energy going on a painting rather than, you know, the same old brush strokes, all the same, whatever. Here you can loosen up and have some fun. All right, now we got this going here. It's all detail, and that's going to wait for later. As long as these landmarks are in place, you should be okay. As long as you got the perspective going, right? All that going in the right direction. Perspective is key in a painting. This kind of painting. All paintings, I guess. Let's see. This is, okay, I got another tree here I left out. So I think I'll paint that one in. That's one right about here. Yeah. And I'm going to pick up some of that charcoal, but you know, at this point, I don't care. Just want to get this thing established. It's as if you have a pencil and you're drawing, that's all. You know, you're drawing with color. That's all there is to it. Sounds simple, but I know to some people it's not. Most people just starting out, it can be overwhelming. And that's what I feel is key in art is, you know, even just painting. Well, I just want to know how to paint. Well, you know, how about drawing too? You know, drawing is very important. Drawing in perspective. I'm not saying that you need those absolutely in order to paint, because you don't. You can get away with just a bare minimum, but you're always better off knowing how to draw. So I advocate sketching, you know, doing just sketching on your own. No matter how crude or rude or whatever it looks, it's okay. Just do it. Just keep the. I have a class in town on Tuesday morning, and I also teach over in Newton. I have a new class over in new art in Newton. So, and what I do is, I get everybody warming up on with an exercise just to loosen up. Let's see. With all this being as rough and as loose as it is, this is all going to come together. Or it might complete itself just the way it is, you know, with this particular loose style. It's recognizable. It will be more so as we go along. So a painting can be finished at any point. It depends on what you particularly are looking for. If you're looking for detail and a lot of bells and whistles, then you might want to take it to a higher level. I personally would rather see something a little looser, you know. some of that charcoal is going to work. And it does. And I'm glad I got started ahead of time, because it's so much better than having you as an audience watching me do the same thing over and over again. And that's the start of painting from scratch. Okay. Let's see. What is this here? Let's just establish some quick landmarks here. This should be the overhang right about here. And then here's the other pillar. We got 4 pillars, right? Yep. And that ends there. As you can see here, it ends with the top of Coming Soon building. There's a jeweler going in there, I guess. Yeah, so tight as you want to go on right now. I saw a demonstration art group some artists gave, and it was like canal. I mean, the person was quite capable and did a nice job painting, but kept on 3/4 of the demo was him trying to draw in this little, and it had to be perfect. So the whole audience is stuck there, you know, we're trapped. So afterwards, you know, we finally get into the paint after about 2.5 hours. And after about an hour of somebody demoing, even half an hour of a show, you know, okay, let's move on, get to do something else. Well, this guy it was like having your teeth pulled one by one. That's a little bit of a stretch, but it felt like that. So afterwards, I went up to him and I just said, you know, I think he knew who I was, and I says, great start you had on that painting. I says, but do you think it might be better rather than to waste all that time drawing, you know, spend that time drawing, why not just get right in with the paint, just get a real quick sketch? Oh no, he says, I always do it this way, and it has to be perfect. So I feel like that's a pair of handcuffs on that guy, that's for sure. Anyway, let's see. A little more tree, I guess, over here. Get these trees spotted in, and I'm home free. Then I'll get the big sweep of this going. Right now it works. I mean, it works for what it is. It works. A lot of crazy color, but it's the right value. And we've talked about values many times. The light and the dark of something. All right. This is probably going to go more down here, this way, and maybe we can change this sweep and give it a little more pizzazz right in there. Look at all that charcoal. It turns another. You can paint with charcoal, for goodness sakes. All right. Those cars also will be interesting at some point, but not today. All right. We'll get some. We got this white going here. All right. Enough fixing of that. That's good. Good. But what I really want to do is drop it in here for the town hall. All right, a little more green. See, these trees are actually telling me whether I'm on or not on with the drawing. I've spotted these in. Now the spaces between this tree and that tree and this, what's going on, tells me exactly what I want to know. So I've got the big shapes, and if I didn't put these in, you know, the chances are this would be maybe too far over, this would be too wide. This acts as a grid for the painting, breaks it up into segments, which makes, follow me now, follow me carefully, please. It's the space in between that's just as important as the painting itself, as the drawing. If you get that space, you get that in there, That's 80% of the battle right there. So anyway. Okay. A little more. I'm going to throw a little more here on the sky. I mean on this tree. And I'm probably going to back this off a little bit here. Because right about here, I'm not going to put it in, but there's the sign for the savings bank, the bank down there. And there's the wall. I mean, everything's falling into place. It's actually a natural composition here. It was beautiful. Bob, you did it again. I don't know. He did it. He did it. Come up with some great ideas, man. All right. This is the bushes out in front. I just want to... This color here can act as a whatever if I want. Okay, just a couple of more indicators. And just keep working back and forth. Okay, it's going to be a little... I want the front of this store here, which would be another indicator of where... That's this here. Yeah, tree might have to come over just a bit. I might come over. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let it. It's not going to affect the painting. In fact, here, between here and here, is more jam than what I want. And if I move it over more, it's even worse. So I don't want that. Okay. Look at this. This pole here is in the way right now. I mean, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to put that in. Right here, right about here. Okay, that means this is going to have to come over. Nope, I'm going to adjust it here. And then run the tree right here. I'm going to let that go behind the tree. If I get too literal, I'll be here all day just trying to correct the drawing, and we'll end up with an architectural rendering. And I don't want that. All right. See if we can get something else going here. Again. There. All right. Oh, let's see. Ah, it's getting light out again. We're in good shape. Okay. I kind of like this purple. This is an underpainting here. This part here with acrylic, but it'll work, especially against the red. Red and purple are natural. Yes, that's it, huh? Oh, okay. Take my glasses off and get real serious. Hey, so we'll see you in the next show. We'll be here. Hopefully it'll stay raining and the sun won't come out. There are all these beautiful effects in downtown Walpole. Thank you again for joining me for another impression show. Bill St. George, Bob, my cameraman, wishing you all the best. And remember to keep painting.